Hello everyone and welcome back to Very Cold Lasagna, your filthy casual place for all the filthy casual takes on the world of sports. I am DylanLasagna and we are back to talk about my San Francisco 49ers as they prepare for a big 4-game stretch, and that begins with the Week 13 matchup against the Miami Dolphins at home in the middle of their 3-game home stretch. So yeah, this is their one extra game for the AFC that they have to play. This time around, this year, the Niners get to play host to that extra AFC team. So here we are, the 49ers coming off a shutout, but also ugly win against the New Orleans Saints, where the offense pretty much did nothing against a solid but yet beaten up New Orleans Saints defense. So yeah, here they are. I guess for some people, they could say a win is a win, but yeah, it was just kind of a little concerning, especially considering they're facing a high-powered offense this week in Miami. And here we are. They are also facing their old friends, especially in Kyle Shanahan's old buddy, Mike McDaniel, the Dolphins head coach. So the Niners are 7-4 going into this matchup for Miami. They're 8-3, leading they were leading the AFC East up until literally Thursday when the Bills beat the Patriots. But they do have an opportunity here if they beat the 49ers to reclaim that lead. So that being said, yeah, this is going to be perhaps aside from next week and the week after, but this is just the beginning of a lot of intriguing matchups for the 49ers because, well, when you look at this first one, a lot of familiar faces coming back to San Francisco and to play against the 49ers. Like I said, Mike McDaniel, Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert. Yeah, and, those guys are, spreading a little trash talk, and the Niners are responding in kind or however they are. But nonetheless, this is going to be a big battle. Maybe this is a good thing that this wasn't the Sunday night matchup, because of course we had to have the Cowboys beat down on the Indianapolis Colts. I'm guaranteeing that, but hey, we'll take what we can. So anyway, looking at this game in the week prior for the Miami Dolphins, they're 8-3 for a reason. Just looking at their matchup in Week 12 against the terrible, crappy Houston Texans, they established their dominance on both sides of the ball. Offensively, Tua Tagovailoa and the offense mostly did their dirty work in the first half in the air, as Tua threw through the air with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki, and Jeff Wilson, and they pretty much torched that Texans defense, and yeah, did their dirty work. While the defense made some big plays on a bad Kyle Allen-led offense. But once you got to the second half, though, you had some injuries mount on the offensive line, and then also Jeff Wilson also got injured in that game. And then once the offensive line, without Teron Armstead and Austin Jackson, who had the two big keys on the exterior, once they couldn't protect Tua, Mike McDaniel was like, yeah, let's pull out these starters. And once they pulled out the starters, slowly and surely into the third quarter, the defense, yeah, they couldn't keep up with the Allen-led Texans. And yeah, they started all of a sudden scoring 15 unanswered points. And fortunately for them, the Dolphins sealed the deal with an interception late in the fourth quarter as they held off the Houston Texans 30-15. Meanwhile, for my San Francisco 49ers, they followed up their Mexico City dominance over the Arizona Cardinals back in Week 11 with a typical offensive dud of 49ers football, where they couldn't do shit against a solid yet beaten up New Orleans Saints defense. Even with Cam Jordan back in the lineup, they couldn't do shit on them. But the defense, however, of the 49ers stepped up to create key turnovers, keep Andy Dalton and the Saints out of the end zone in more ways than one, more than just turning the ball over on downs and at the goal line, as the 49ers went on the shutout the Saints 13-0 in a very ugly win at home in last week in week 12. So the 49ers are going to have to definitely bounce back on offense, and just look at the injury report. They're going to have most of their players ready to go, except for one definitely and another potentially. So looking at the injury report for both of these teams going into this game, for Miami, they are definitely beating up. They're not going to have their two key offensive linemen that I mentioned in Armstead and Austin Jackson. They both have been ruled out. Teron Armstead is likely not going to play this game. He's been ruled doubtful, but again, not likely to play with a toe and a pec strain, even though he's been pushing to play. He's a crazy man. And then Austin Jackson's been ruled out with the ankle injury. Both of those injuries suffered in that game last week at home against the Texans. Raheem Mostert, he missed that game, that blowout at home against Houston, but he is expected to come back after missing that last game with the knee injury. Backup running back to both Wilson and Mostert. He's listed as questionable with the shoulder and ankle injury. So who knows if he'll be ready to go, but even if he's not, Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert should be able to shoulder the load for Miami. Key linebacker Jerome Baker should also be expected to go after he's been working through a hip injury, and defensive lineman Raquan Davis also should be ready to go with a knee injury. For the 49ers, they're not going to have running back Elijah Mitchell for the next 6 to 8 weeks. So basically the rest of the regular season with a knee sprain. So that's unfortunate. So Jordan Mason season, guys. So Jordan Mason, the next man up behind Christian McCaffrey. Speaking of Christian McCaffrey, he had knee irritation in Sunday's game against the New Orleans Saints. That's why you saw the knee strap around. I think it was I'm not sure if his right or left knee, but either way, he said he was doing fine. He's doing better in the last couple of days. So he's ready to go against the Dolphins. Deebo Samuel, however, he's been on and off the practice report with a deep thigh bruise. Kyle Shanahan said that he's very questionable to play. So we'll see if he's going to be a go on Sunday. If not, then honestly, I really don't mind it. I really don't mind if they don't trot him out there to let him heal up for a week. Because, yeah, even if he doesn't, then I mean, it's not like Jimmy G use it to his full potential. It's like Deebo hasn't been really living up to the hype of his contract this season anyway. Spencer Burford, their offensive lineman, he's been dealing with the ankle injury from that Saints game. He's questionable, but we'll see if he's able to play. He's been making progress to play this game this Sunday, as well as Charles Omenihu, who also had a knee injury in last Sunday's game. So from what I'm reading, it seems like both of them do look on track to play, but anything can happen. But we did get one big update from the 49ers practice reports this week, is that Eric Armstead, who missed a lot of time this season, he's missed time since week 4, he's going to be coming back. So the interior defensive line has really missed him. They have really missed him so much. So his presence is going to be greatly felt this Sunday against a weakened Dolphins offensive line. So having recovered from his foot and ankle injuries, he's practiced fully these last 2 days. It's going to be a big presence in that defensive line. So Eric Armstead, it's good to have him back. And he's going to be ready to go. Jimmy Garoppolo, who had that knee injury from a low tackle by Malcolm Roach of the Saints, he's fully practiced, so he's off the injury report. And left tackle Trent Williams. So it's going to be remains to be seen if he will play, because he appeared on the injury report late on Friday with back spasms. So hopefully he'll be able to play. If not, then damn. Cole McKivitz is going to have to play. And yeah, we all know how that went when Trent Williams was out. and McKivitz had to play in this spot, like, damn it. That would be so bad. So, looking at some of your top stories of the week, like I said earlier, the Dolphins and the 49ers are exchanging, like, social media talk in the lead up to this game. And, yeah, Raheem Mostert might have mentioned a couple of things that were out of context, that went out of context. So, either way, whatever they're exchanging to one another, Kyle Shanahan and Mike McDaniel have exchanged pleasantries. The players, not some yes, others not so much. But either way, this is going to either be a really fun matchup or it's going to be a total blowout by one of these teams. So it should be a fun matchup on Sunday because a lot of these players know each other, and some of them were on the 49ers in the last couple of years. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun matchup. And one of these teams is going to definitely get one over the other. The 49ers signed veteran cornerback Janoris Jenkins to the practice squad. I'm not sure how to feel about this move because Jenkins has been around the league for quite some time. So, and he's definitely not the same player as before. So maybe it's a good veteran presence to add for the reserve young corners, especially considering that you lost Jason Verrett for the season, as well as, Emmanuel Mosley is not there with the torn ACL. So might as well add a veteran presence in the event that one of your other young corners goes down. So I don't mind it. So some of your players to watch for this upcoming game against the Dolphins, obviously, if you're the 49ers, on the defensive side, you have to keep your eyes on Tua Tagovailoa because, he's definitely had a much better year under Mike McDaniel than he's ever had with Brian Flores. He's just had a better release. His deep ball could still definitely use some work, but his release has been much quicker, much sharper. Sometimes he makes some really weird decisions, but him, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Gesicki, they have become one of the most dangerous offenses. And with Tua, especially when he's out of the pocket, can really hurt you on defense. So you got to find a way to contain Tua in that pocket. Otherwise, if you can't, he's going to beat you so bad. And you also have to look at the offensive line without Teron Armstead and Austin Jackson. How are you going to protect the exterior? How are you going to contain Nick Bosa and whoever's going to line up on the other side? Who's going to protect Tua's blind side? So that's going to be an interesting matchup. And how's the interior going to be like with Eric Armstead back in the lineup for the 49ers? So the offensive line is going to have their work cut out for them on Sunday, protecting Tua Tagovailoa. Outside linebacker Bradley Chubb. Since he got traded to Miami from the Broncos, his name hasn't been brought up that much. But, maybe this is a game against a 49ers offensive line where he can really make a name for himself, establish this Dolphins middling pass rush as potentially something really good. But maybe Bradley Chubb could be that X factor. And then for the 49ers, obviously Jimmy Garoppolo. He's got to have a bounce-back game because what we saw last Sunday against New Orleans with Marcus Davenport and Cam Jordan back in the lineup, and how constantly they got to Jimmy G. Yeah, he's got to have a better performance against a Dolphins team that has Chubb and Jerome Baker, and that's pretty much it. It's like a Dolphins team that it's okay against the pass rush. With the pass rush, it's like it's so. But either way, even with a middling pass rush by Miami, Jimmy G has to take advantage of his complement of playmakers. We can't have a repeat performance like he did last week against New Orleans. Nick Bosa, Like without Teron Armstead, I think this is gonna be Nick Bosa's like feasting day if he can take full advantage of it, and if he could get around the litany of blockers that Mike McDaniel is probably gonna have his defensive coordinator send his way to Bosa. So Nick Bosa is gonna have to like attack, feast on that left side often and furiously. And then running back Jordan Mason, with Elijah Mitchell out, this is his opportunity to make a statement for himself. Grab that potentially audition for that number 2 role with Elijah Mitchell getting injured so often. So why not with the stretch that Mitchell is out, make the most out of your opportunity against a somewhat solid Dolphins run defense. So you want to make a name for yourself? Start here. As a middle of the run in the middle, run outside, running back in Jordan Mason. So your 3 keys to victory for both of these teams. If you look at the Dolphins, the pass rush has to get to Jimmy G. Yeah, they did good against the Texans, but again, that was the Texans. They're facing an offensive line in the 49ers that has actually, they've done like up and down. Against the Saints, they struggled against Cam Jordan and Davenport, but have they gotten to did they get to Jimmy G? Yeah, they pressured him. I think they only sacked him once, but that was because Jimmy G got the ball out really quick. So for the Dolphins to really get to Jimmy G, keep him in the pocket, sack him multiple times, their litany of edge rushers, linebackers are going to have to really strategically bull rush against the offensive line and contain Jimmy G in the pocket and make him throw some really bad balls. And then Tua Tagovailoa, with a weaker O-line, is going to have to pretty much do the same thing that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to have to do. Of course, at least he has the mobility that Jimmy G doesn't. Release the ball quicker than usual, because without his 2 key offensive linemen, the 49ers defensive line is going to get after him very quickly. They are a swarm. They are like fast. They are furious. So Tua is going to have to get that ball out really quick. So if otherwise, he's going to get contained. He's going to get swamped in the pocket. And then whenever he has opportunities, go deep, go vertical, go mid-range in the passing game. Often defer to Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. Make the Niners get beat with the Dolphins' speed, because the Dolphins definitely have that. And if you're the 49ers, like I said, the pass rush has to definitely take advantage of the Dolphins' offensive line disadvantage this Sunday. You have Eric Armstead back. You potentially may have Charles Omenihu back. This defensive line is slowly but surely getting healthy again. I'm not sure who else they're missing, but either way, you have your defensive line, your pass rush nearly back at full strength. And with a mismatch on Sunday, might as well ease your way back into considering yourself as a force with the pass rush once again. And then find a way to tap into the potential of rookie back Jordan Mason. Find his strengths. See what works for him. Like I said, with Elijah Mitchell out, this is an opportunity to see what works for Mason and balance out McCaffrey and Mason if you're Kyle Shanahan. And like I said, Jimmy G, again, needs to have a better game again. So it's plain and simple. So if you're looking at both of these teams, considering that they on paper, the Niners do have an offense to go up against the Dolphins' offense, but the one thing that the Dolphins have that the Niners don't is a really good quarterback. Tua is a much better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo. So that's why I have to give, unfortunately, despite the offensive line disadvantage, unless if the 49ers pass rush can constantly get to Tua each and every time, and Jimmy G actually has a bounce back game where he actually takes advantage of his options with Ayuk, Kittle, Jawan Jennings, and this is especially if Deebo Samuel is out. McCaffrey, if he can constantly find his guys. And the defense keeps Tua in the pocket to sack him and lessen his opportunities, then the Niners definitely will have a chance. But if they don't do that and they allow Tua to constantly beat them in the air or in the ground with Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert, then I'm going to have to give a close, very close edge over for the Dolphins or the 49ers. So I'm going to be careful here. I'm going to be very careful in picking the Dolphins over the 49ers in this Sunday's big matchup between these two teams as Kyle Shanahan and Mike McDaniel come to blows this Sunday. So, well, yeah, it's not the result that people want to hear. Hey, it still should be a fun matchup between these two former allies now meeting as enemies. So, yeah, people won't be happy to hear that I'm picking the Dolphins over the 49ers. But hey, it's just me being honest. It's just me being honest. So anyway, let me know your thoughts on this upcoming matchup between the San Francisco 49ers and the Miami Dolphins. A big Week 13 matchup for both of these teams as the Niners continue to strengthen their hold on the NFC West. And same thing for the Dolphins with the AFC East. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Anyway, this is DylanLasagna signing out of Very Cold Lasagna. Keep that lasagna very cold in the fridge with your takes on the world of sports. And until next time, peace out.